Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you a very different and very interesting painting video. On today's video, I'm going to be painting up the killer model from Blacksite Studios' horror game, Don't Look Back. So this is a fantastic multi-part miniature that's supposed to represent the killer in the game. He comes with a lot of different options, so you can build him to kind of match in or look like a lot of the different kind of slasher characters that we know and love from some of our favorite movies. I went for the standard Michael Myers-esque build as I've been watching all the Halloween movies lately, and it's got me in the mood to paint this guy up. I didn't just paint up this guy for the good of my health. We did actually launch a battle report on the channel last Saturday, showing you how to play this cool and awesome game. And we put a lot of work and effort into it, so it would mean the world to me if after you finish watching this video, you went down below, clicked the link, went and watched that video as well. I promise you will not be disappointed. So without further ado, let's get the color painted. Okay, so this is the box which the miniatures come in, which is a VHS cassette case with old 80s style horror movie covers, which I think is the best packaging on any miniatures game I have ever seen. Inside you get all the information you need to know about all the characters, and the characters themselves obviously come inside here as well. This is the specific character we're going to be working on today, which is the killer, which I think is a brilliant design for a multi-part miniature, because what they've quite cleverly done is base the main body of it on someone in a boiler suit, which then of course covers so many of the killers from different movies, and then they give you this whole bunch of options so you can glue on whichever parts suit you and make him seem like the slasher from your favorite style of movies. So I will give extra points to anyone if they can put in the comments below all the different characters you can make from this set. This is obviously the boiler suit piece, which is quite generic. He's got his big black boots on. And then these are all the little extra options you can get. As you can see, there's 4 heads. There's a bunch of different arms. There's a sledgehammer, fire axe, kitchen knife, pistol, and then a bunch of different heads. So put down in the comments below all the different killers you think that this kit can make. I, for one, I'm going to be going after the Michael Myers style killer. As like I said in the intro, I have been watching all the Halloween movies recently, so I'm going to cut out the kitchen knife, and of course the old Halloween mask, which is of course a William Shatner mask, I believe, from the first movie. Poor William Shatner. Didn't deserve to get done that dirty. So once I had these pieces cut out, I assembled them in the way that I like them, and I ended up with this, which I think is pretty sinister. It's pretty cool. He's storming forward, knife raised, ready to come kill you. There's very few things as intimidating as Michael Myers when he's got his high eyes set on you. I gave the model a coat of Grey Seer spray as a prime, and then I got stuck into putting all the base coats down with some contrast. So I used Leviathan blue for the boiler suit, which is just a really dark blue contrast paint. This only takes a couple of seconds to apply this across a model like this. This is a very, very simple miniature to paint. It was a real joy to paint because it's basically just a knife, a mask, and a boiler suit. There's not really a lot to the rest of the miniature. Some black on the boots, I guess, but nothing crazy. So I spent a little bit of time going around with Leviathan blue, getting the whole boiler suit painted up, making sure that it didn't hit the mask is the most important piece not to hit. That's obviously quite a bright color, and you don't want to hit it with such a dark color, the contrast system won't work. Black Templar was used. I did this on his big boots, and I filled in the entire kitchen knife with this as well. Just when I went to do the silver across the blade, it would be a little bit darker and a little bit nicer looking. If I had gone and tried and done the silver over the straight Grey Seer, it would have just been very pale and it wouldn't have looked the best. So yeah, it took 2 seconds to do that. This is one of those funny miniatures that, because there's so many different options to building it, I would love to get another kind of 1 or 2 of these models and paint them up in different ways. Like orange is my favorite color in the whole world, and every bit of me wanted to put him in a big orange jumpsuit. That's maybe what I'll do for my next one. Gulliman flesh was used to put a bit of colour on all of the skin, which on this miniature is just his 2 hands. Everything else is covered up. Oh, I might see a bit of his neck actually, but Nasdrag yellow was used on the hair. I was then promptly informed that Michael Myers does not have ratty blonde hair, which I assumed. I think the William Shatner thing stuck in my head and I pictured his hair. So he's supposed to have dark brown hair. So I actually went over this with the new Gargak sewer paint, which is just another contrast. But I did forget to film that. I do apologize. But I went back over with the Gargak sewer, which is a really dark, muddy brown over the top of the Nasdrag, and that did a really, really good job. Iron Hand Steel was used on the blade of the knife, just to give it that sharp, sinister edge. I thought about adding blood to him, but for some reason Michael Myers never seems to be covered in blood. Even his weapons or anything, they tended to be quite clean. Okay, from here I'm going to wash the miniature. So for this I'm going to use Seraphim Sepia, and I'm going to give this the entire miniature a coat of this, which is going to work a treat in kind of shadowing up the entire model, making him look a little bit dirty, a little bit grimy. Especially on that pallid white mask, which if you'll notice I haven't put any paint on at all. I'm just going to trust it to the grey cere, then the sepia shade, and then I'll do a little bit of layering to it afterwards. But I want that kind of really cracked old mask look, which was from some of the later movies. Here, as you can see, I threw the sewer paint over the top of the hair, so I put it back to more of a murky brown. And I threw some brown texture paint on his base. Cantor Blue is the first paint I'm going to be using to layer the model, sorry. And I'm going to use this for, of course, that boiler suit. This is going to keep it as a nice dark blue, but it's going to add a lot more, I don't know, detail and vibrancy to the actual thing. The boiler suit is such an iconic piece in these movies, and such an easy Halloween outfit to wear, so thank you to those movies for that. So the idea of layering up is just to basically paint the boiler suit again, leaving all of the cracks and recesses with the darker color, just to create the illusion of shadow. And any of the flatter parts, or the parts that are pointing up towards the light, you're going to hit with the Cantor Blue. I apologize for my fingernails. Obviously I've been spraying a lot of models and there's been overspray on my hands. That's something that I'm just used to having, but obviously I don't know how annoying it must be for people watching me on camera. My nails are constantly in a state of having some spray on them from all the models that I spray up on a daily basis. Here's the boiler suit all blued up. I went for the Deepkin Flesh because, like I said, it's an off-mottled white. And I'm just going to layer up the mask a little bit. I'm not trying to get this like solid coat. I don't want to make it look smooth or anything. The kind of rougher and uglier it looks, the more it will match the tone of the mask in the movies. This is what I mean, more sinister looking, the more broken white it looks. From here I'm going back to Iron Hand Steel just to highlight back up the very edge of that blade, just to give it that, like I said, sharp look that the sepia might have taken away. Moving on to Cadian Flesh Tone to do a very, very quick highlight on just his fingers. It takes about 2 seconds to do this step, really. All I am is following the fingers along. I finished basing the miniature. I actually decided to put some base material on either side of him to give the illusion that he's springing out from behind the bushes to get you, and I am absolutely delighted with this result.
Which of course brings me close to the roundabout, so I need to also roll on the jump scare table. Let me see what I got. A 1! Lunge! Oh no! Place the killer in base-to-base contact.
Okay guys, and there we have it. The killer is painted and ready to terrorize your local neighborhood. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a like. If for some crazy reason you are not already subscribed to my channel, it would mean the world to me if you took 2 seconds out of your day and hit that subscribe button. I will answer any questions you have in the comments below, and if you want to support me even further than these 3 ways, there's links to things like my Patreon below, which will give you access to a private Discord server where you can hang out with me and get involved with my community. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.